How do I get in the room with the people who would buy? That's where YouTube, I think, is really helpful because you don't have to have a network to have YouTube go out and find the people for you. You just have to speak to those people. If you have something where the cost of it, let's say the cost of it is $5,000, then you want to have $5,000, $10,000 conversations on YouTube. You want to have titles and thumbnails and the concept of your video be about things that people who have $5,000 and $10,000 to drop talk about. That's one way, is reaching them, going to where they are in language so that you can start to attract them over time. Because you have that offer for a reason. So it must mean you have something there you think that you can provide to those people. Talk to them. What do they like? What do several of them like? There are types of movies they like, types of food, types of travel, types of clothing, types of lifestyle choices. What do they like to do? Can you have that conversation with them? Can you review something that's about that? Can you have a conversation about the recession and how it affects people who make over 200,000 a year? Can you turn your channel into something that speaks to that group? Another way to do it is to go to conferences where people that you want to win over are attending and speaking. You can try to get a speaking role. That's going to be pretty tough starting out. So be in the seats. There's an entrepreneur I worked with named Dawn Dixon, and she ended up, being all over the place, podcasts, on stages across the world. She said, before I was on the stage, I was in the seats. When they have breakouts, who are you walking up to talk to? Who are you zeroing in on? Who are you studying when you get the pre materials? There's a lot of ways to do it. Free membership is also a fantastic way to do it, because if you offer something that's a freebie and you can start nurturing that and giving value, people are going to take note of that. I love your YouTube content. Thank you, Max. How can I find my target audience to offer language learning courses and customer service consulting services when I'm first starting out? First thing I would do is choose one or the other. Language learning courses and customer service consulting are two different things, I believe. Now, I may be wrong about that, but I sound like they're two different things. You don't want to split your attention, your time, or your efforts. You want to focus. The language learning courses, I think, feels better to me just because, but that's like a personal preference, but it feels better to me because people are more and more and more wanting to be global. They're wanting to be able to go outside of the country in the US and go outside of different countries. And people speak different languages all over the world. And we just kind of take for granted the English thing. So you choose one of them. The first thing you do to find a target audience, to find your target audience, is you have one target audience and you have one offer for them. So you don't confuse them and you don't confuse yourself. Then when you know who that target audience is and what that very distinct offer is, and you have that confidence in your heart that what you're offering them is important and valuable, then you can do all of the other things that I teach in my videos. That's where I would start. How can YouTubers effectively balance indoor content such as close-up, intimate recordings in a home studio with dynamic travel vlogs to enhance their channel's appeal and engagement? Sounds like you've answered that question. Great to see you. Sounds like you've answered that question. I would look at someone like in Arlan's All Access, Rachel Ray, RAI. She has her channel, her new videos. Sometimes she's in her office. Sometimes she's walking around doing on the go stuff. Look at Matt Gray. Matt Gray does about 10 million a year. A lot of times he'll get the selfie stick and he'll put his iPhone sideways, so it's a horizontal, and he'll walk us through the French Alps or somewhere in Colombia in some beautiful lush area, and he'll just talk to us. And then he'll come back to his desk and he'll talk there. So what I would do is I would study who's already doing that. Matt Gray is a great example of someone who does both, and Rachel is becoming a great example of that as well. Great questions, y'all. You're doing a great job. Great questions. I've rebranded my YouTube channel and will soon post a podcast based on my 3 coffee table books. Slow flex, soft flex. Video editing is taking too long, so it will start audio only. I don't think there's a question there, but I will say that one of the things that you can do to take back your life and buy back your time is to hire an editor. You can go to Fiverr and you can hire an editor to do the editing for you. It'll take away so much of that extra time that is precious. Okay, I'm an artist, milliner, and clothing accessories of 30 years. Okay. How does the call relate to hands-on artists? Well, you're selling something that sounds like it's pretty custom and it's pretty precious and it's maybe expensive. So if I'm going out and I'm looking for something custom, I'm looking for a jacket, I'm looking for a hat, I'm looking for something even cooler than that, oh, that's going to rhyme, cooler than that. I may want to feel a little special. And I may want to go to your website or to your free membership or to your link in your YouTube channel. And I may see a YouTube video of you taking me through your studio, talking about a very specific thing that you do. Not everything, but one thing. Like I'm doing these tailored ... And you might say in that video, if you want one of 12 of these that I'm doing, if you want to commission them, you can look in the link in my bio, a link in my description. That link might link me to a Calendly that takes me to set up my Zoom call with you. And on that call, and what you're saying in the description is, we're going to have an intro call or we're going to have a consulting call to see about your body type and your style to see if it's a fit. I might want to get on that call to see what you can do for me. I'm not very stylish. Maybe you can help me. I then get on the call, and 1 out of those 10 calls, that's going to take some effort to get, but yes, if money is on the other side of that, take the effort. 1 of those 10 calls is going to say, this is great. I didn't know that about my body type. I didn't know that you had such craftsmanship. I didn't know ... I will pay the $1,200 that it costs to make that one-of-a-kind jacket that you've just told me about. That's how you use calls that way. You make it bespoke. You make it like they're getting a consultation with you. You make it like you give urgency because maybe it's a certain time. If you want this by Valentine's Day, if you have a wedding, if you want this by your birthday, if you want it by this thing that happens to everybody, then you want to get your order in by this date because it'll take me that long to do it. It takes me 3 months to make each piece. So you have that urgency of time, that limited amount, which is also urgency in psychology, sales psychology. And you also make it very prestigious and elite that I only have 6 of these calls per week. And you only should take the call if you can afford a $1,200 item. You want to talk to the person, talk to them as if they already exist in your audience.